It's quiz time. Welcome to BusinessLine Cerebration 2021, one of India's premier corporate quiz championship in what till now has been a thoroughly entertaining 18th edition. And I am Ajay Punya, with great delight hosting this completely virtual edition. In its preliminary rounds that lasted a week, over 6,000 corporate executives, business professionals, B-School students, and MBA aspirants participated from all across the country. Today, in our third week of competition, in our penultimate regional round for participants from Delhi, get set to witness the biggest of names, the who's who of quizzing in North India. They've gathered here not by any stroke of luck, but by sheer will and desire to lay their hands on the most coveted intellectual title and take home prize money worth rupees 1.5 lakhs. There's first prize of rupees 75,000, second prize of rupees 50,000, and third prize of rupees 25,000. That sounds mouth-watering, doesn't it? Fact of the matter is, it won't come easy. We won't really require the competitors' blood, sweat, and tears either, but just a small matter of being top of the table as they navigate 4 rounds of what I'm hoping will be action-packed quizzing. As participant 1 from Ernst & Young is Ayush Awasthi. Joining him as participant 2 from Steel Authority of India Limited, Bokaro is Rahul Panda. Then joining him as participant number 3, also from Steel Authority of India Limited, Bokaro, is Rishi Kant Gupta. Then as participant number 4 from Zomato is Ashish Kumar. Then from PTJK Files Indonesia is Abhinav Dar. And finally, completing the lineup from Barclays is Rohan Khanna. Welcome each one of you. Right, that's the lineup for you. That's as good as any. In the Delhi regional round today, 5 of the 6 participants will unfortunately fall by the wayside. But personally, I would love to take all of you to the final. But we've decided to play this game as per the rules identified. And the rule book says only one qualifies for the national final. We did that in Chennai, Kochi, Hyderabad, and Bengaluru. And so we'll follow the protocol in Delhi today, and then again in Mumbai tomorrow. At this point now, I would like to invite Mr. Raghuveer Srinivasan, editor, BusinessLine, to address and welcome our participants and audiences. Sir, please.
Hello, everyone. BusinessLine is a newspaper known for its thought leadership. It is read by decision makers, policy makers, CEOs, CXOs, and the high-profile readership that it has. We have an annual event called Cerebration, BusinessLine Cerebration Quiz. It is well known in the quizzing circles, and quiz aficionados have participated in the past, and they have made it a success. It's back this year. Cerebration, BusinessLine Cerebration is back this year with its 18th edition. This time it'll be in a virtual format. And, I invite all you brainiacs, whether you're corporate executives, business professionals, B-School students, or MBA aspirants, to come and showcase your knowledge and, participate and compete with the best in the quizzing business in this country. You will not be, we will reward you well for your efforts. You stand a chance to win the most coveted intellectual title and take home prize money worth up to 1.5 lakh rupees. The first prize will get 75,000, the second prize 50,000, and the third 25,000. The format is such that you'll be asked to answer 25 questions to qualify for the regional rounds. From August 14th till 22nd, the top 6 teams from each regional round will compete to reach the finals. On 28th August, the winners of the regionals from the 6 cities will battle for the coveted title of the most brainy person in India, or the best quizzer in India, whichever way you want to see it. So come along, pitch your talent against the best in the business, and go back home with not just pride, but with also a lot of knowledge.
Right. Thank you, sir. Lots of pride, lots of knowledge is what he spoke of. Now, this is the time when we appreciate the generosity exhibited by our partners who helped us put together the Cerebration Corporate Quiz 2021. The title sponsor, Union Bank of India. The program is powered by CFA Institute. It is brought to you in association with Manage Engine and our associate partner, BSE IPE. Thank you all. And now I would request Mrs. Beena Waheed, Field General Manager, Union Bank of India, Delhi, to take the stage and address our participants.
Good evening. Let me begin with congratulating all the semi-finalists who have shown exemplary intellect and quick wit to reach this level. It's very exciting and energizing to see budding leaders celebrate. Union Bank of India has always been a connoisseur of talent and has considered encouraging and supporting young minds and entrepreneurs to come and progress forward as its social responsibility. We understand the future of the country is digital and will be steered by highly capable, skilled youngsters like all of you. It's therefore our mission to remain a young organization leveraging technology. And that's why we not only aspire to be the bank of first choice for its customers, but also an employer so that we remain relevant and always provide best customer service. We also believe in inclusive growth, which due to onset of COVID has assumed much more importance. The new mantra is to become self-reliant and develop brand India. At Union Bank of India, we offer a comprehensive range of products to cater any financial need of its customers, be it small, micro business setup or mega size industry. It's our endeavor to help the leaders of today and tomorrow to realize their dreams and together emerge as a self-reliant superpower nation. As we always say, आपके सपने सिर्फ आपके नहीं हैं, देखता है कोई और भी ये सपने. So dream big, follow your passion, take on new challenges, and do not be afraid of failures. In your quest to take India to new heights, you will find Union Bank of India with you at each step. We have got your back. All the best to each one of you. Just remember that no success is final and no failure is fatal.
Right, thank you there, ma'am. All right, then participants, just another day, just another quiz, right? So let's cut to the chase and pick action with our first of 4 rounds. Round 1 is called Truth Seeker. With best wishes, here is question 1, round 1. Here's your first statement. The Chandigarh Imperative was the code name of a program led by him, a prominent New York planner and architect alongside British and American consultants from the Ford Foundation. Their imperative was to lead development of the first colonial Chandigarh master plan of 1962. First on the buzzer is Rahul from Sale Bokaro. Yes, Rahul, true or false?
True.
True. Moving on to the next person on the buzzer. Yes, Ashish?
Agreeing.
Agreeing. All right, moving on to the next person on the buzzer. The next person on the buzzer is Rishi from Sale Bokaro. Yes, Rishi. Rahul said true. Agree, disagree?
I think I disagree.
You will disagree. All right. Okay, so 3 answers have been recorded. Rahul and Ashish both think this is true, while Rishi does not quite agree. Why is that, Rishi?
Actually, I don't think in 1962 Ford Foundation might have any role to play in India.
Okay, so what other foundation, if at all, would have made this a correct statement, would have made this a true statement as per you?
I can't guess right now, but I think it's the not.
But it doesn't sound right. Something about this seems off. Okay, let's see what the right answer is. The right answer is false, because this was the Delhi master plan of 1962, not the Chandigarh master plan. Welcome to the Delhi regional round. Okay, so Delhi has had 3 master plans till date. the 1962, 2001, 2021, and there's one upcoming, that's 2032. The person was Albert Mayer. He's also credited with being involved with the development of Chandigarh. Actually, not quite credited enough, let me put that correctly. So he's not quite credited enough, but there is some claim that he was associated with Corbusier and team to plan out Chandigarh. So in this case, however, I was looking for Delhi, so which is why this is false. Rishi, that's well done. All you had to do in this case was just disagree because the previous two participants before you said true. So well done there, Rishi, that's a +10. Rahul from Sale Bokaro, that's a -5. And Ashish from Zomato, that's a -5 to you as well. Right, so a couple of negatives and 1 + 10. We move on to our next question. Here is number 2. Meaning Holi, this is the flag carrier of North Korea that has been on the list of air carriers banned in the European Union since October 2006. First on the buzzer is Rahul from Sale Bokaro again. Yes, Rahul, true or false?
It is false.
False. Moving on to the next one on the buzzer, and that is Ayush from ENY.
I agree.
You agree with false. Moving on to the third person, that's Rohan from Barclays.
I also think it's false. So
yeah, agree, disagree with false.
yeah, agree.
Agreed. All right, Rohan, why do you agree?
I don't think this is North Korea. I think this is Afghanistan, if I recognize this correctly.
Okay, let's ask Ayush. Ayush, why did you agree with false?
It's Afghanistan.
Okay, let's go to Rahul.
Yes, it's Air Karyana or Air Ariana from Afghanistan.
Let's see. That is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. This is the Ariana Afghan Airlines, the national carrier of Afghanistan. That's well done. The national carrier of North Korea is Air Koryo. Okay, so this was Ariana. Good answer there. Rahul, Ayush, and Rohan. 10, 6, and 3 in that order. Rahul, well done. All three of you scoring points on this question. We move on to question number 3. A powerful argument for interoperability on the web, Instagram actually booted up its initial network on top of the Twitter graph, allowing you to easily discover and follow everyone you already followed on Twitter. True or false? First on the buzzer is Rahul again from Bokaro. Yes, Rahul?
False. False.
False. Okay, moving on to the next one. That is Ashish from Zomato. He says false. Agree or disagree?
I agree to Rahul.
You agree. Moving on to the next one on the buzzer, and that is Rishi. Agree or disagree? False. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think it's false. I agree with Rahul.
So you agree. Okay, why do you agree, Rishi?
Actually, I don't think Instagram and Twitter would follow the same route. Actually, both of them are different companies.
Okay.
So,
Is that the reasoning for Ashish?
Yeah, I have never experienced this.
Or you have a same reasoning? Rahul, what was your reason?
So I think
Instagram is seems off here.
Instagram is the same software? Sorry, can you say that
No,
again?
I'm saying Instagram seems off here.
Seems off here. Okay, I heard software. Anyway, we'll move on. Let's see if that is correct. So all three of you think this is false. The right answer is true. Incidentally, when Instagram started out, there was fair bit of interoperability that was possible, which is why you could just have the same people that you follow on Twitter. You can quickly follow them. They were all suggested and you could all follow them on Instagram as well. But however, it's not possible anymore thanks to the European GDPR rules, right? Which is something that you perhaps encounter pretty frequently. Every time you visit a new website, you have to agree, reject, accept, and all that, right? So this is where that comes in. But in the early days, everything was, I mean, at least Instagram and Twitter were pretty interoperable. That's not the case. That's not quite the case anymore. Rishi -5, Rahul -5, Ashish -5. This question was brought to you by our partners. That's Manage Engine. And again, I don't think they'll be happy seeing that everybody lost points on this one. Next statement here is number 4. During the Cold War, USSR's Armor Research Foundation launched Project A119, a top secret plan developed in 1958 to detonate a nuclear bomb on the moon. However, due to fear of complication with the launch of the nuclear device and the possible inhibition of later colonization of the moon, the project was cancelled. First on the buzzer is Rahul again from Sale Bokaro. Yes, Rahul, true or false?
I think it is false.
You think this is false? All right, moving on to the next one. Next on the buzzer is Ashish from Zomato. Yes, Ashish? He says false. Agree or disagree?
Agree with Rahul.
You agree. All right, moving on to the third one on the buzzer. Third person on the buzzer is Abhinav.
Yeah.
Yes, Abhinav?
I disagree. I feel this is true.
You think this is true? Okay, I'll ask Ashish. Ashish, why do you think this was false?
So this was never the plan for the moon, but for the space. Detonating in the space. Yeah.
All right. Why did Rahul say false in the first place?
I think it is USA's plan. I'm just guessing.
You think this is USA's plan? Okay. Abhinav said true. So we'll see. The right answer is indeed false. And Rahul, you're absolutely right. This wasn't USSR's plan. Yama Research Foundation wasn't from USSR, but was from the US. It was the Air Force Special Weapons Center. Good answer there, Rahul. That's a +10 to you. And that's a +6 to Ashish for agreeing with Rahul. Unfortunately, Abhinav, you took a different track on this one, and that was incorrect. So Abhinav, from PTJK, you get a -5. So question number 5. Among the many COVID-19 policies is South Korea's gym policy last month. This allows music with more than 120 beats per minute, which means Gangnam Style with its 132 BPM is banned, while BTS songs like Dynamite and Butter are okay since they are within 115 BPM. First on the buzzer is Rahul again from Sale Bokaro. Yes, Rahul?
I think this is true.
You think this is true? Moving on to the next person on the buzzer, and that is Rishi from Sale Bokaro as well. Yes, Rishi?
Yeah, I do agree with Rahul.
Okay, so both of you think this is true. Moving on to the third person on the buzzer, that is Ashish. Ashish, agree, disagree with true?
Yeah, agree with Rahul.
Agree. All right, let's see if that is correct. Is indeed correct, right? So well done, all three of you. Rahul, that's a +10. Rishi, that's a +6. Ashish, that's a +5. So one of the many COVID-19 hysteria policies. This is one of them, so that people don't sweat out too much if they're listening to high BPM songs. You're not allowed to operate the treadmill more than 6 kilometers per hour, and not lift too much of weights, not spend too much time in the gym and stuff like that. Right. So well done there. Rahul +10, Rishi +6, and Ashish +3. Okay, question number 6. In the 1920s, America was entering the consumerism order. A marketing executive came to Henry Ford with a new advertising slogan, "Buy a Ford, save the difference." Henry himself changed it to "Buy a Ford and spend the difference." True or false, Rahul? From Sale?
It seems false.
It seems false. Okay, moving on to the next one. That is Ashish from Zomato. Agree or disagree? He says false.
I agree with Rahul.
You agree. Moving on to the next person, and that's Rishi. Rishi, do you agree or disagree with Rahul and Ashish? Both of them think this is false.
I think I disagree with Rahul.
You disagree, okay? Yeah. I'll ask Ashish. Ashish, why do you think this is false?
The change seemed bit off.
Okay. Rahul, why did you say false in the first place?
A year seems odd.
Year seems odd. Okay. When was their consumerism, coming to the limelight in America, if not the 1920s?
I'm not sure, but 1920.
That doesn't. Okay. Right. Let's see what the answer is. Rishi said this was true. Rishi was correct. Rishi, that's a +10. Rahul, that's a -5. Ashish, that's a -5. So that's Rahul and Ashish losing points, both collecting negatives, and Rishi, on the other hand, getting a +10. Here is question number 7. Excise Tax is the first Belgian to appear in the Adventures of Asterix. He takes part in the Golden Menhir competition in the forest of the Carnoots alongside his friend Getafix. True or false? First on the buzzer is Rahul again from SAIL. Rahul, you've given lots of answers. Not all of them are correct. You want to go for it again? Yes, Rahul. True or false?
False.
False. Moving on to the next one on the buzzer, and that is Rohan from Barclays. Agree or disagree? He thinks this is false.
I'll agree.
You agree. Moving on to the next one on the buzzer, and that is Rishi. Rishi, agree or disagree with false?
Yeah, I agree with Rahul. I think it's not Getafix, but Obelix.
Not Getafix, but Obelix. Okay. Rohan, what was your reason?
I think it's VAT. It's not excise tax.
It's VAT. Okay. Rahul, what was your reason?
VAT. I think VAT.
Okay. Let's see what the right answer is. Is indeed value added tax was the name, not excise tax, right? So this was indeed false. So well done, all three of you. Rahul, that's a +10. Rohan, that's a +6. And Rishi, that's a +3. So 10, 6, and 3, Rahul, Rohan, and Rishi. Although 3 R's score points, the 3 A's watch the drama unfolding on this one. Okay, so 10 to Rahul, 6 to Rohan, and 3 to Rishi. Moving on to our final statement. Ingrid Newkirk was set to become a stockbroker, but was upset with US militarism and the testing of nuclear weapons. So with her boyfriend Alex Pacheco and a small group of volunteers, she organized a music concert to raise funds to sail a boat from Vancouver to Amchitka. True or false? On the buzzer yet again, Rahul. True or false? Rahul, quick, or I'll move on.
False. False.
False. Okay, moving on to the next one on the buzzer, and that is Ashish.
I disagree.
You disagree. Okay, moving on to the third person on the buzzer, and that is Rishi. Agree or disagree? He said false.
I agree with Rahul. It's not US, but UK.
Oh, no. So Rishi, you agree. You think this is false as well?
Yeah, I do.
Now you can give me your reason. Okay, so Ashish doesn't agree with the two of you. But Rishi, what's your reason?
I think it wasn't US, but UK militarism.
Okay. Rahul, what was your reason?
Same UK, I think UK it is.
You thought this was UK. So, okay. Ashish, you thought this was true. Let's see what the answer is. The right answer is false. But because they founded PETA and it was the stores who founded Greenpeace, that was the explanation that I had given. But nevertheless, that's a +10 to Rahul and a +6 to Rishi, and a -5 to Ashish, right? So +10 Rahul, +6 Rishi, and a -5 to Ashish. That brings us to the end of round 1. Scores are as follows. Ayush, you are currently at 6 points. Ayush from ENY currently at 6. Rahul, with quite a few answers from SAIL Bokaro, is currently at 35. Rishikant Gupta from SAIL Bokaro as well, currently at 30. Ashish with quite a few negatives, currently at -11. Abhinav also on -5 with 1 wrong answer, and Rohan currently on 9. Right, so those are the scores after the end of round 1. Lots of points to be won, lots of questions to be answered. We move on to our round number 2. This round is called Friend in Need. Okay, here is your question, Ashish. This is the list of the 10 oldest what, and what would be number 1 and number 10 in the list. Number 1 is something from 1602, then there's Paris, Philadelphia, New York, London, Milan, Frankfurt, Madrid, Toronto, and number 10 that you also have to identify is from 1875. So list of 10 oldest what is number 1 and what is number 10. You have help available from Rohan from Barclays. Do you want help, Ashish?
Yeah, I'll take the help.
All right, Rohan, please give me all 3 parts.
These are the oldest stock exchanges in the world. I think 1875 is the Bombay Stock Exchange, BSE, and 1602 should be Amsterdam.
All right, Ashish, you heard his answer. Okay, accept or reject?
Accept.
Accept. So he said,
yeah.
So say that again, Ashish. You're saying something?
Yeah, I accept. I knew this was stock exchanges, but not sure about the other number 1.
Okay, so you thought this was stock exchanges, but you weren't sure of the blanks. He said this is stock exchange, list of 10 oldest stock exchanges. Number 1, he said was Amsterdam, and number 10, he said was Bombay. Let's see what the right answer is. The right answer is indeed correct. That's the answer. So that's well done, Rohan. That's a +5 to you. And well done, Ashish, for accepting it. That's a +5 to you as well. This question was brought to you by our partners, CFA Institute. Ashish, if you have a message for Rohan, else I move on.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. All right. Here is question number 2 now for Abhinav. Abhinav, this is your direct. Here's your question. An excerpt from Goa, A Daughter's Story by Mario Cuoto. The contradictions and paradoxes of Portuguese policies in Goa seem incomprehensible given the authorities taxed and repressed the very community on whom they depended for economic and political support. For instance, a capitation tax was levied on the Hindus until the late 18th century. It was called Pensao de Shendi. The community was penalized for the traditional male custom of sporting what? Right, there is help available, Abhinav, from Rahul from Sale Bokaro, if you want.
I think I'll go for this myself.
Sure, for +10, -5. Abhinav, your answer?
Yeah, I'll say this is beard or any facial hair, basically.
This is beard or facial hair. I will move on to Rahul. What is your answer?
My answer was also mustache, beard, and any kind of
mustache or beard. Moving on to the next one, that is Ashish. Yes, Ashish.
Yeah, facial hair.
Well, there's no point saying the same thing over and over again, right? So that's a -5 to all three of you. Abhinav, that's a -5. Rahul, that's a -5. And Ashish, that's a -5 to you as well. Does any of the other participants want to take a guess? No points.
I have another guess. Is this the cap? Is this the cap that they wear?
Headgear maybe.
Well, again, Rahul and Abhinav saying the same thing, though that's not correct either. Right. Rishi, okay, you have an answer?
I think the lungi they wear.
No, that's not the answer. It's the tuft of hair, right? So the shendi is the hair on the head, not facial hair, but that tuft of hair that you generally associate with Brahmins, right? So that's the answer that I was looking for. It was still hair, but hair not on the face, but not facial hair, but on the head. Right, so this is the exact excerpt where I took this from. As it says, traditional male custom of sporting a tuft of hair, the shendi, on an otherwise bald head. Right, so that's what I was looking for. That's 3 of you get negatives. Abhinav, you rejected the idea of taking help, so it's a -5 to you. Rahul, -5 to you, and Ashish, that's a -5 to you as well. Moving on to the next one, and that will be for Ayush. Ayush from EY, if you're ready. Right, please unmute Ayush. Okay, Ayush, here is your question. Everybody else on the buzzer. Founded last year, Alexis Ohanian runs this VC firm. Its name, as they say, is a reminder to make great achievements, but not repeat great mistakes. What is the name a tribute to? What is the name a tribute to? There is help available from Rohan from Barclays, if you want.
I don't want to take the help.
All right, what is your answer for +10, -5?
This is a tribute to the Olympics. So 776 BC, the original Olympics in Greece.
The 776, the original Olympics in Greece. Let's see if that is correct. That is indeed correct. The first ancient Olympics took place in 776 BCE. He and his family have a strong connection with Olympics, and Serena Williams has won, I think, 4 medals, and I think all of them are gold. His wife Serena Williams, and they have a daughter called Alexis Olympia. Right, so they have a strong. They take great inspiration from Olympics, so which is why his VC firm is also inspired by the Olympics. That's well done, Ayush. That's a +10 to you. Very good answer. No help needed, although there was help available, wasn't needed. Right, 10 points, Ayush. We move on to question number 4. It's a 2-part question. I need both. From a graph, I have removed two things, right? So, and both the things appear twice. So one I've hidden behind a black box and the other I've hidden behind a white box. The black box has no connection with aircraft flight recorder, just a black colored box, okay? So you have to tell me what's behind the black colored box and what's behind the white colored box, essentially. All right, here is question number 4, and this is for Rohan. Yeah, so this is for Rohan. Rohan, if you're ready. All right, so two-part question. I need both, whether you're giving me as a direct or if you're giving me the answer by using help. Here's your question, Rohan. This chart shows the result of a recent crackdown on a certain industry, that's behind the white boxes, by a country in black boxes. As a result, their share of production has been on a consistent decline recently, right? So recent crackdown on what industry and by which country? There's nobody interested in helping you out just yet. So Rohan, you can decide to give an answer without the fear of negatives.
So I'll guess this is China's share of Bitcoin mining.
China's share of Bitcoin mining. Why do you think that would be the answer? I don't think you're pretty convinced about it, but anyway, just your thought process is what I'm interested in.
Yes, but I think they've been cracking down on some of these energy intensive and fossil fuels, and also want to go carbon neutral in the next 40 years or so.
All right, let's take a look. Since there was nobody else on the buzzer, so I can't really pass, and I don't need to because that was the right answer. This is indeed China's Bitcoin mining crackdown. As you can see, over the last few months, their share of production of Bitcoin has reduced significantly. They were producing about 60-65%, and now that has come down less than 50% in the last few months. Well done there, Rohan. There was no help available, and clearly you didn't need it, so that's a +10 to you. Very good. Right, next question now will be to Rishi. Rishi, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here is your question. Again, a two-part question, so I need both parts. Rishi, here's your question. Please unmute, Rishi.
Okay, I'm ready.
Here's your question, Rishi. This device by the Washington DC-based gadget Duck draws strong reactions from people. Its supporters argue that it reduces the risk of life-threatening DVT, and those against call it aggressive or draconian. My question is, what does it defend and in what situations? There is help available from Rohan from Barclays. If you want, Rishi, two-part question. What does it defend and in what situations?
Okay, I'll take help from Rohan.
All right, Rohan.
These are called knee defenders. It's basically to protect aircraft passengers from the person in front reclining the seat too much and bumping into their knees.
Okay, Rishi, you heard the answer, or would you like me to repeat?
Yeah, I will agree with Rohan.
All right, so you heard the answer and you will agree with it. Rohan says that these are knee defenders and it's used by people on the airlines to prevent others from, people in front from reclining. Let's see if that is correct. What defenders are these? They are indeed knee defenders. That's the answer, from recliners in airplanes. And as their tagline says, standing up for the right of the tall guy to sit down, right? So if I'm not wrong, Rohan is tall enough. Perhaps it's a problem that he's personally experienced. I don't know if he's carrying knee defenders with him every time he takes a flight, but that's the answer. That's well done, Rohan. That's a +5 to you, and well done, Rishi, for accepting it. That's a +5 to you as well. Rishi, do you have a message for Rohan?
Yeah, thank you, Rohan, so much.
Okay. Now for the final question of this round will be to Rahul from Sale Bokaro. Rahul, if you're ready.
Yeah.
All right, again a two-part question. I need both parts. Here is your question, Rahul. While this style of naming a brand or startup is common these days, the pioneer in picture of such naming pattern did it because the domain of the name they wanted in 2004 was not available. Nowadays, making this tweak has become a shortcut for identifying a trendy new tech company What heuristic pattern of naming brands is this, and who was the first? Rahul, there is help available. Rohan from Barclays is interested again.
I'm just sure about one part. The other part I'm not sure, so I'll take help.
All right, Rohan, you are needed again.
The person in the picture is associated with the first, is it?
Yes, Pioneer. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the pattern of naming is knocking off, the vowel. So the first was Flickr, so, which is spelled like Flickr. So the E gets knocked off. That's how you also get things like Moto Razor and so on.
Okay. Moving back to Rahul. Rahul, you heard the answer?
Yes, I knew about the vowel stuff. I was confused with Flickr and another one. So Flickr will be the.
Do you accept or reject?
Yes. I accept.
You accept what Rohan said. Let's see if that is correct. That is indeed correct. So she is Katerina Fake, co-founder of Flickr, and the trend in question is removing a vowel. Just like Tumblr and Flickr and some of the other brands. I'm sort of having a brain fade moment and I can't recall others, but Tumblr and Flickr being the first one, being the pioneer. So that's the answer that I was looking for. That's well done, Rohan. That's a +5. And well done, Rahul. That's a +5 for accepting that. Right? Yes, Rahul, you had something to say.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay. Right, so with that, we come to the end of round 2, in a round where Rohan scored quite a few points, not just for himself, but also helped others scale up on the scoreboard. We'll see where that stands, but not right now. We'll take a look at the scores after the end of the next round. Right, we're done with half of today's quiz. We move on to the second half now. This is round number 3. This round is called Saving Grace. There are 6 questions. Question number 1. If you look for physics.com, you'll get a bunch of quotes on concepts of physics by certain scientists, like the image on the left. If you look for biology.com, you are redirected to Savas, an education company earlier with Pearson, that's on the right. And if you look for chemistry.com, you are taken to a website owned by which Dallas headquartered company? Right. So if you look for chemistry.com, you are taken to a website owned by which Dallas headquartered company? Still waiting for somebody on the buzzer. 4 seconds of time. Just in time, we have Rahul, who's gone for it from sale. Yes, Rahul, your answer? Please unmute.
I think it is a parent company of Tinder, Match.
Say that again.
Match.com, parent company of Tinder and everything.
All right, let's see if that is correct. There's nobody after you, so I can't really ask for whether you need a saving grace or not. So we'll see if that is correct. That is indeed correct. That's the answer. This is indeed Match Group. So as you can see, there's chemistry.com. So they own quite a few other websites in the domain of dating, like Tinder, OkCupid, etc. That's the answer that I was looking for. Chemistry.com is owned by them. Nothing to do with the field of science. Perhaps there is some science in chemistry. That's not my domain. That's above my pay grade. So I'll let it be. Anyway, that's the answer. Rahul, that's a +10 to you. Very good answer. We move on to our next question. Here is question number 2. Having founded in the 18th century in present-day West Bengal, this government organization is the oldest in India. It operated through 18 units pre-independence and now has 41 units, with the latest one in Korwa in Uttar Pradesh. Couple of months ago, the central government decided to convert them into 7 corporate companies. What organization am I looking for? On the buzzer first is Ayush from ENY. Yes, Ayush. What organization?
Are these the ordnance factory?
Are these the ordnance factory? Are you answering or are you asking?
Yeah, it's a educated guesses.
Okay. Tell me a bit more about your education. Why would you guess this?
I think I've read it that they are splitting these ordnance factories into multiple units. Not sure if they are 7 or more.
That's the last line was your clue. Let's see if that is correct. That is indeed correct. That's the answer. This is indeed the Ordnance Factory Board. Good answer. They have 41 ordnance factories. The last one in UP way back in 2007. Now recently they've decided to split them into 3 corporate companies. That's good answer there, Ayush. That's a +10 to you. Very good answer. Very good quizzing. And as you said, it was an educated guess. So here is question number 3. Amazon has a 3-day learning program as soon as someone joins. This is an onboarding immersion experience for externally hired VPs and directors. It brings the new joinees up to speed with Amazon's way of working things and helps them to leave their past organization behind. What scientific name, that is 11.2 kilometers per second or 33 times the speed of time or speed of sound, is given to this program? First on the buzzer is Ayush from Ernst & Young. Yes, Ayush?
I know that the formula is for escape velocity. So 11.2 kilometers per second is the escape velocity.
So your answer for this 3-day learning program is?
Escape velocity.
Also, escape velocity is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. So that's what the program is called. It's called escape velocity. Ayush, with back-to-back answers, collects another 10-pointer. That's very good. Okay. Moving on to our next one. Here is question number 4. The earliest appearance of what word occurred in this early 1800s book to refer to a medieval mercenary who would fight for whichever nation or person paid them the most? First on the buzzer is Abhinav. Yes, Abhinav?
Freelancer.
Can you repeat?
Freelancer.
Freelancer. You think freelancer would refer to a medieval mercenary who would fight for whichever nation or person paid them the most? Let's see if that is correct. That is indeed correct. So this is the original quote. I offered Richard the service of my freelances and he refused them. I will lead them to Hull, seize on shipping, and so on. So this is indeed freelance or freelancer. That's fine. Good answer there, Abhinav. That's a +10 to you. Very good answer. 4 questions done, 2 more questions remaining in this round. Here is question number 5. It's a 2-part question. I need both. An alternative to a 9-symbol long communication standard, CQD had a brief life during the early 20th century. At that time, different nations used different standards. Britain, for example, favored CQD, and so the confusion that arose from an incident near Newfoundland took CQD out of use for good. Against what did it fall out of favor, and what incident led to CQD's demise? First on the buzzer is Rohan from Barclays. 2-part question, Rohan.
So CQD basically gave rise to SOS. The incident that led to the demise was the sinking of the Titanic, and they basically came up with the Morse telegraphy, and the communications basically picked up, right? So you had things like Morse and telegraphy from Marconi, etc.
So the question says an alternative to a 9-symbol long communication standard. What is that?
That's the ... So the Morse code, SOS in Morse, right? It's a 9-symbol this thing. So that's why. So it's the 9-symbol dot for SOS.
Is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. So SOS is 3 dots, 3 dashes, 3 dots. So those are the 9 symbols. And the incident near Newfoundland was the Titanic sinking way back in 1912. So the first call when they hit the iceberg was actually made with both CQD as well as SOS. So they were using both. So which led to a bit of confusion. And then eventually it was decided, let's just stick to one standard, which is SOS. And that is why CQD fell out of favor. CQD actually comes from CQ, which is French for security, and then Marconi company added D for distress, right? But it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, maybe it does exist, but the widespread standard that is followed is SOS. Well done there, Rohan. That's a +10 to you. Very good answer. Now, here is the final question of our penultimate round on your screen. Here it is. This media mogul in the picture originally composed the iconic theme song titled Think as a lullaby for his son and called it A Time for Tony. In 2005, he said that it made him between $70 to $80 million in royalties. And this show has seen divisive opinions about its two new hosts. First on the buzzer is Ayush from Ernst & Young. There's a very peculiar way in which I've presented this question also. Yes, Ayush.
You want the show, right?
Just give me what you have.
So this is the creator of Jeopardy.
Okay.
Jeopardy has got two new hosts, and this is he composed the theme tune of Jeopardy.
I just said that I've presented this question in a very curious way. So would you like to answer give your answer in a more appropriate way?
What is Jeopardy?
Thank you, Ayush, for playing along. That's the answer that I was looking for. So as Jeopardy works, you have to give the answer in a form of a question. Thank you, Ayush, for getting my joke and not making me look like a fool. So this is indeed Jeopardy. He was Merv Griffin, and the two new hosts are Mike Richards and Mayim Bialik. Mike would host the syndicate version, while Mayim would perhaps host special versions of the show. Good answer there, Ayush. That's a +10 if I'm not wrong. All the questions in this round were answered absolutely correctly on the very first attempt. Yes, I think they were. Right, so well done. Spread across, I think, 3-4 different participants. That's very good. That brings us to the end of 3 rounds. We'll take a look at the scores. Right, at this stage, we are getting ready to prepare for our final round. In this round, after the end of the round that is upcoming, we will be selecting only one participant for the final. We've done that previously. We will do that this time as well. So my best wishes are with each one of you. Right, this is very, very close, very interesting. Ayush from Ernst & Young currently at 46. Rahul from Sale Bokaro currently at 45. Rishikant Gupta somewhat out of favor, not giving any answers in the last couple of rounds at 35. Ashish from Zomato at -11. Abhinav currently at 10, and Rohan from Barclays at 44. So as you can see, we have 3 participants within 3 points of each other. That's how close this competition is. For now, we move on to our final round, and this is called Double Trouble. Let's take a look at the crossword. So we will go in order. We will start with 1 down, and it is an 8-letter answer. 8-letter answer is what I'm looking for. Here is your question. I'm looking for a platform. The 3 of them used to work at Kick, the Canadian messenger app. They were inspired. We already have somebody on the buzzer, and that is Rishi. Yes, Rishi. Rishi, I need an answer. Please unmute and answer.
Okay, I thought it was a Clubhouse.
All right, that is incorrect, Rishi. I will continue to the next person on the buzzer, and that is Rahul. Rahul, what is your answer? Quick, Rahul.
Sorry, I was confused with the sorry.
So that's a negative as well, Rahul. Moving on to the next one on the buzzer, and that is Abhinav. Yes, Abhinav.
Yeah, it was a misbuzz, but I'll take a guess.
Quick.
Yeah, pass.
Passing. Okay, moving on to the next one on the buzzer. The next on the buzzer is... Wait 1 second, we'll just check who's next on the buzzer. Next on the buzzer is Ayush. Yes, Ayush, what is your answer?
Is it Substack?
Is it Substack? I will complete my question. The 3 of them used to work at Kick, the Canadian messenger app. They were inspired by Ben Thompson's strategy to create their own platform in 2017. As a result of the COVID-19 policies last year, their platform reached new heights and seeing 5x the growth in customers in the previous 2 years. But like the dominant social networks, they consider themselves a hands-off neutral platform that is certainly not a media company. Which platform that is proving to be sustainable option for journalists? Ayush thinks this is Substack. The right answer is indeed Substack. That is the answer. 5 points there, Ayush, a very valuable, a very crucial 5 points, but I don't see him to be very happy about that. Perhaps you would have liked to double, but you have to keep the composure there, Ayush. I could see so many of you trying to give the answer, and perhaps in that, in that medal, you've sort of missed out on thinking of doubling this, but Ayush, you get a +5. Rishi, that's a -5. Rahul, that's a -5. Rahul, you were amongst the leaders. That -5 would cost you. I hope it doesn't cost you too dearly. And Abhinav, that's a -5 as well. Right, so Rahul -5, Rishi -5, Abhinav -5, but a +5 to Ayush. Let me place Substack. So Substack has been placed. We move on to our next one. Okay, so this is 2 down. Again, an 8-letter answer. Nothing has been revealed yet. Here is your question. I'm looking for the industry. It's an 8-letter answer. Industry, 8-letter answer. Right, we already have somebody on the buzzer, and that is Rohan from Barclays. Yes, Rohan?
I'll double it.
You will double. What is the industry, Rohan?
Cannabis, CANNABIS.
Okay, my question. The first publicly traded company from the industry in the US was in 2009. And now these are the top 5 publicly traded companies by market cap in what industry? Rohan says cannabis. Let's see if that is correct. He doubled it as well. That is indeed correct. That's the answer. That's well done, Rohan. That's a +10 to you. Very good answer. Very important. And the fact that you doubled it made it all the more interesting. Right? Keeps you in good stead, at least for a while. At least for a while. Let's place cannabis on the crossword. So that's where it placed. We move on to 3 down. Yet again, we do not have anything revealed yet. It's a 7-letter answer. It's a 7-letter answer that I'm looking for. Here is your question, everyone. It's on the buzzer. I'm looking for a brand 4 and 3. I'm looking for a brand 4 and 3. Boys fall in love with what they see. Girls fall in love with what they hear. That's why girls wear makeup and blank blank. Goes the description of this cult apparel brand that counts Ariana Grande and Gigi Hadid as some of its fans. This brand's name commemorates the tough breakups they experienced as blank blank, same blank, became their tagline, healing mantra, and later the name of their business. What brand am I speaking of? Right, we do have answers coming in. Ayush has gone for it. Yes, Ayush.
So I'll say this is Boys Lie.
Boys Lie.
Yeah. So as you said in the line, things happen and boys lie. So this is a.
I heard the answer, but what is your explanation?
So you explained that line. So these things happen and boys lie. So this is basically about all breakups. So why boys lie, and then it caters to that segment of females. So to feel confident and all.
Autobiography in public. All right, we'll let that be. That is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. Good answer there, Ayush. This is indeed Boys Lie. The 2 ladies, the founders are Leah O'Malley and Tori Robinson. That's very good, Ayush. That's a +5. Oh dear. Again, a facepalm moment there, Ayush. Were you really confident of this, or were you only guessing?
Yeah, I guess, but I was more confident than the earlier part.
Than the earlier one.
Earlier
Okay.
one.
Right. So you're slowly collecting a few points. Rohan got a 10 a little while back. So perhaps you're still very close. You've collected 2 +5s there, Ayush. But we'll move on to our next question right now. We will place Boys Lie. Right. Now we move on to 4 across. It's a 6-letter answer. The second alphabet is A. It's a 6-letter answer. The second alphabet is A. It's 4 across. Here is your question. I'm looking for a product. I'm looking for a product. And my question is, this company was founded in 2003 by Hangzhou Qindahu Shunlong Sci-Tech Limited, owing to site's curtailment, CITES, curtailment, it saw an opportunity to take away monopoly from Russia and Iran. Currently, it produces 30% of world supply annually. What commodity does it produce? What does it produce? On the buzzer first is Ayush from ENY. Yes, Ayush?
I'll double this.
Okay, you keep it in mind this time. What is your answer?
It's caviar.
It's caviar, and you said you'd like to double. Let's see if that is correct. That is indeed correct. That's the answer. This is indeed the caviar. Good answer by Ayush. That's a plus 10. This time you kept in mind doubling, so very well done. Gives you another 10 pointer. You got 2 fivers earlier. This time you get a 10. That's very good. It is indeed caviar. Now we move on to the next one. Before that, we placed caviar, and we move on to number 5. It's 5 down, 5 letters, 5 down, 5 letters, nothing revealed. Okay, nothing revealed. Here is your question. The common acronym. What acronym is common to both these state government-owned entities? 5 letters. Acronym is common. Yes, this is Ayush again from Ernst & Young. Yes, Ayush.
This is the roadways thing, the Kerala and Karnataka, which they fought against. So KSRTC, so Kerala State and Karnataka State Roadways Transport Corporation.
Just tell me the acronym, Ayush.
KSRTC.
All right, KSRTC. Right, let's see if that is correct. Is indeed correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. This time, Ayush, you didn't double. But there's no reaction coming because perhaps you want to
confused with the, even if it's KR or...
Okay, that is correct. That's the answer. It is Kerala State Road Transport Corporation on the left and Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation on the right. However, when it comes to their websites, Kerala uses Kerala RTC and Karnataka actually uses KSRTC. Right, so that's how they use, that's what their websites are called. So well done, that was the common acronym, Ayush. That's a plus 5. It was indeed KSRTC is what I was looking for. 2 questions remain. I'll place KSRTC and I move on to 6 across. That starts with N, there is S and there is A. Here is your question. I'm looking for a person. I'm looking for a person, and my question is, but before that, Ayush has already gone for it. Yes, Ayush.
I'll double.
Okay.
This is Naomi Osaka.
Can you tell me a bit more about this? What's happening in the visuals?
These may be the brand associations of Naomi Osaka, and she was in news because she was suffering from mental health issues, and most importantly, it fits.
Okay, but you just add is Naomi Osaka, and that is correct. Ayush, you doubled it, right? Yeah, you doubled it. So that's a plus 10. Good answer, Ayush. So that's Play Academy with Naomi Osaka, which she created in partnership with Nike, and Osaka Foundation, which is actually founded by her parents, and she's just continuing the tradition. Okay. We will move on to our final question now. So that's well done there, Ayush. You got 10 points for that. Here is the final question. Starts with the letter T, ends with the letter E. There's an I as well. All right. Here is your question. I'm looking for the title of the one in the middle. What is the title of the second book in the series? Who's gone for it? This is Abhinav. Yes, Abhinav?
This is the third wave.
This is the third wave. All right. My
Double or not, doesn't matter.
Okay. What is the title of the second book in the series by Alvin Toffler? It is a term coined by him to describe the post-industrial society that began in the 1950s. However, lately this term has been used in completely different contexts for the times that we live in, with some describing it to be inevitable. Abhinav says third wave. and he didn't double it, but he later realized that he had the option of doubling it, but perhaps it's too little too late, so it's fine. Anyway, that is correct. That's the answer that I was looking for. That's well done, Abhinav. That's a +5 to you. And that brings us to the end of this quiz. But this question was brought to you by our partners, our title sponsor, Union Bank of India. And this is where the third wave is placed. Right, so well done everyone for all those lovely answers that you gave. Thank you for playing. We will declare the final scores in a bit, but before we entered the final round, there was a bit of uncertainty about which direction this quiz was heading. There were 3 of the participants who were placed just 3 points within each other, but as the round progressed, we had answers coming from 2 of them till eventually, till the latter part of the last round, we had 1 clear winner. I'm sure if you were paying close attention to what was happening in this round, you would have figured out which direction this quiz is headed. We can only take 1 person with us in the national final, and I think we do have a clear winner, but later than what would have been ideal for the eventual qualifier. Then in third place, a strong start, a solid start, Rahul Panda from SAIL Bokaro. Unfortunately, you finished third, and this is where your journey ends as well, but you started really strong, just couldn't sustain that momentum towards the end. And what was a wonderful back and forth, a lovely fight that was displayed by our competitor who finished second is Rohan Khanna with a score of 54 points. Accumulated a lot of goodwill points, a lot of brownie points from the competitors as well, as he tried to help them in scoring a few points. But towards the end, it turned out in the latter part of the last round, it turned out to be a one-horse, one-man show. And our winner for the Delhi regional round of the Hindu Business Line Celebration Corporate Quiz 2021 is Ayush Awasthi. Congratulations with a wonderful score of 81 points. Right, absolutely thrilling, absolutely brilliant performance there by Ayush Awasthi from ENY, scoring 35 points, as much as 35 points in that last round. And still, those weren't the maximum points that he could have scored. He missed out on accumulating doubles on a couple of those questions. But nevertheless, for him, all's well that ends well. And congratulations, Ayush. You qualify and represent the Delhi region in the national final. It's going to take place next week. That's it from all of us here at the Hindu Business Line Celebration Corporate Quiz 2021. I hope all of you had a wonderful time witnessing this quiz, participating in this quiz, and look forward to you joining us in one more regional round. That's Mumbai, and that's tomorrow, and then eventually in the national final that takes place next week. Until then, goodbye and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye, everyone.